Hey everybody, it's Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with
Tiftastic.
And Landon Calrissian.
Yeah, and hey, this is the Poindexter Lounge, and we are here at Rave Cinemas in Flint, and so is that bird, and we're getting ready to go in and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this is a Cinemark movie theater, and so we are excited to watch this movie.
Download the app.
Yes, at a Cinemark theater. So download the Cinemark app, and we'll see you inside. Bye-bye. What's up, everybody, and welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. And what is the Poindexter Lounge?
Place for nerds.
That's right, it's a place for nerds. Nerds like me, and like you, and like her, and like him. We're all welcome here at the Poindexter Lounge. And if this is your first time at the lounge, we just want you to sit back, relax. You can sit in the recliner. You can get into our fridge. You can open up a cream soda or a Dr. Pepper and just enjoy yourself as we talk about nerdy stuff, because Tiff, I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Then I should have worn my glasses.
Yes, you should. Hey, she's got a T-shirt actually. It's got a candy nerd on it, and that says "Talk Nerdy."
With glasses on.
Yes. So hey, we want to welcome you to the Poindexter Lounge. If this is your first time, please will you hit that subscribe button so that we know that you are going to be here, that you are part of this community. We want you to be a part of this community of nerds. Also, if you hit that subscribe button, why don't you go ahead and hit that notification bell as well so that you know when we put out new videos, right? Because we put out new videos every day. That's right. We've been really good about this, folks. So please, reward our efforts.
To quote Ron Burgundy, we're kind of a big deal.
No, hey.
No, I'm kidding.
So here's the thing. So hit that notification bell so you know. And then also, if you like the content, if you like what you see here on the channel, please give us a thumbs up just so that we know that you like what we're doing here, all right? That encourages us to do more videos, right? And to give you more content and to talk about more cool stuff, because we got a bunch of stuff to talk about here in this next week, and just not enough time to film all those videos sometimes. So we want to know that you are enjoying at home or wherever you watch your YouTube, that you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel. And so feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. We love talking to people, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Give us ideas.
That's right. I love talking to people here on YouTube, and also you can take the conversation over to Twitter at Enosh Music, and we can have a conversation over there. And I'm telling you what, you may inspire or give us new ideas for new shows and new topics of things to talk about here on Poindexter's Lounge. All right. So with that all said, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with the lovely
Tiftastic or Grand Tiff Tarkin?
Yes, and also
Landon Calrissian.
That's right. And today, what are we talking about, Landon?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's right, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, Landon, what is your favorite Marvel movie of all time?
Ant-Man.
That's right. And that's why tonight we are talking Ant-Man and the Wasp, because we literally just got back from the movie.
Yes.
You know, we filmed our little thing out there so you could see we were standing in front of the theater with people looking at us all weird and, you know, exes coming up by and waving and all that good stuff. But it's okay because we do all this for you. It's not awkward at all. And so we went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp tonight. And so I'll just start off. I enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I loved how it was done. One of the biggest things that stood out for me... Now, okay, before we get started, it's in the description already, but just know that we will be talking about some spoilers for this movie. We're not going to go play-by-play with everything that happened in the movie.
You need to play that alarm on the phone that's like, spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we will be talking about some spoilers for this. So if you have not watched Ant-Man and the Wasp yet, you may want to just put this on hold, and that's all right. Come back to it. And then you can share in the joys that we shared in tonight. All right. So first of all, one of the first things that I noticed that jumped out at me right away, guys, de-aging technology has come a long way.
Even since Tron.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was shocked of how they were able.
Three separate people, they were able to de-age them, and it looked like they looked 30 years ago.
Yeah. Like,
it was
and
amazing.
that was crazy. Michael Douglas looked younger. Michelle Pfeiffer looked younger. And who
Lawrence
was the,
Fishburne.
Oh, and Lawrence Fishburne. That's right. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And I just sat there thinking, because I watched a video this week, and I can't remember. I think it may have been on Collider, and they were talking about Indiana Jones, which is another topic that we got to talk about. Oh my goodness, another video. But but they were talking about, like, what would you rather see for them to continue the series? Would you want them to de-age Harrison Ford? And they were talking about Solo and stuff. And if my first thought was no, and then and then all that was said on there was, "Have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp?" And they were like, "Yeah." Okay, and they didn't want to give away any spoilers on there because they got to see the movie early, obviously. And I wondered what that comment meant. Now I understand what that comment meant, because holy cow.
It looked like they took a video from back when they were in movies 30 years ago, but it's not like they can do that and add it to make the exact lines from this movie.
Yeah.
You could tell that they put them in one of those suits or did something like they do for, like, Snoke.
Somebody
that way they could do and make it look so much younger.
Somebody was sitting there with video of Michael Douglas going line by line.
Yes, getting rid of all
wrinkle
the
by wrinkle. So that's the first thing that jumped out at me about this movie. Yes. Landon, what about you? What jumped out for you at this movie as you were watching it?
I just really thought that it was really cool how they, like, made him, like, bigger, and, like, what they did, like, after Civil War, and what they did with him after that, and then leading up to Avengers. That was really cool.
To explain where he was.
To explain where he was and what he was doing, and that's a great point. This movie
salt and peppered it throughout the movie.
Yes.
Making fun of even.
That was great. This movie explains where Ant-Man and the Wasp were during the events of the Avengers, and why they weren't around, why they weren't involved in things, and it also explains just all those events that led up to that.
That were in between.
Like you said, what happened after Captain America: Civil War with these characters, stuff that we wouldn't even thought. We know that some of the other characters went into hiding. Mm-hmm. Well, some other stuff happened to Ant-Man and the Wasp. They were, Ant-Man was arrested, and he's on a tether. He's been on a tether for 2 years, so he can't even talk to Hank Pym or the Wasp. And so, so it was really cool to see that. How about you, Tiffany? What stood out for you?
I think just what stood out for me is I love the fact that they, on cable right now they have the Ant-Man because, of course, number 2 is coming out, so they got to show number 1 on cable. But it's funny just to see the girl who played his daughter, how she was so young in that first one, but they continued on with that actress. Mm. They kept all the same people from who he used to work with the ex-cons, and bringing all of these people back as cameos, but then also just taking the new people and advancing the story, where I felt, we learned more about the mom and just all these little things, and now it's like I want to see where they're going to take it from here because they continued the storyline so well.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Man, Paul Rudd is hilarious. Paul Rudd's a great actor.
Comedic genius.
He is. He's got some great timing, comedic-wise, and
it's still funny, even though we see it in the previews when him and Lawrence Fishburne are sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, I made it 20 feet," and he's like, 70.
I think it was 65. Yeah.
But still, it was hilarious. It's like 65. If you're done talking about that stuff.
Yes. And he knows how to slap at the bass.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He knows how to slap at the bass. So like I said, I think those are all really, really good points. I mean, story-wise, yes. I loved where the movie went. I loved where it took us from and kind of took us on this whirlwind of adventure.
Explain more of even the quantum realm and stuff on the science side.
Yeah. Cool. Villain-wise, I felt like there was a little bit of a bait and switch with the villain of this movie. But
that villain was actually pretty cool. That was a whole different level of the different kind of villains that they've had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel that there was like one villain. From the previews, we were kind of
plethora of villains.
Yeah, we were kind of made to feel. I mean, and I don't think there was really a major bad villain. Really,
but it was almost like all the villains were working against them, and
it was basically like a bunch of people working against them, but like nobody was like the big bad villain. It was just kind of annoyances that kept happening because they really hyped up the one lady who had the ghost who had the powers and stuff, like that she was going to be the villain, and although she was an antagonist against them,
yes,
and she wasn't really a villain. You know?
Yeah, because you also still had all of, the CIA guys that were after him to make sure
Yep.
those were bad guys, and then you had the one bad guy that was trying to stop, their plans for their sciencey side.
Yeah. Oh man, the police and the FBI and everything. Now, what did you think of that, Landon? How they kept trying to arrest him?
That was funny. And then, like, anytime he would get arrested, he would always show up to the house. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, because he's on a tether, and so he can't get away, and so he can't be outside the house.
And they're thinking they're about to catch him, and then he comes walking out, and he's like, man.
Yeah, he'd always be there. So, I thought that was cute. I thought that was pretty fun. I liked how they gave the backstory for the original Wasp.
Yeah.
With her and how that played out, and and it gave us that background to know where she was, why she disappeared, why she did what she did, how she kind of uses.
Well, they
Ant-Man.
finally got that portal opened, and they were able to open it and then realized, okay, they messed up on some scientific level, and so they had to fix it. But that small time that it was open, that the mom was able to use that transference from him being in that quantum time to just be able to connect, where he gets a vision and then looks in the mirror and realizes he's the mom, to kind of get that memory so she could plant that in his head to try and get back out herself.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Tiff. So getting towards the end of the movie, and rescuing the mom and kind of getting all that out, and obviously through the whole thing, there's a romance budding, right, between Paul Rudd and
Re-romance
Evangeline
is what
Lilly.
it sounds like, because it sounded like they were together.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
when he got in trouble, and then she got frustrated, and so she just stuck with her dad, and so it was kind of like a reignite.
Yeah,
igniting of
reigniting that old flame, as it were,
Yes.
from small to big, right? Yeah, it was kind of cool to see that kind of relationship, start budding again. And then towards the end, we've rescued the mom, everybody's safe. But you were convinced of one thing, and what was that, Tiff?
Well, Disney is behind this movie, and what is Disney known for? You have to take at least one of the parents away or do something. So I was actually convinced that the fact that the dad raised, Hope all this time because of the mom making that sacrifice to, go into that bomb back in the day to be able to, stop it from, ruining a bunch of lives. I was convinced that in order for him to go back to get the mom, that something was going to have to happen as a trade-off, that maybe he wasn't going to make it, and so she'd be able to enjoy the second half of her life with her mom, but maybe not her dad, and maybe that was going to be something. So as soon as she jumped out and she was crying, I thought, there it is. But I was very pleasantly surprised. And
They played it up, though, for about 30
Yes.
seconds, where you
Where I
didn't
was
see
just
Michael
like,
Douglas. Yeah, and I was pretty sure you were right.
But he got his funny line. He's like, "Yeah, I'm okay, by the way."
I like, what I really
So-
like? I love the use in this one of manipulating size.
Yes.
Because
A
they
lot
would
of
go
that.
from really small to really big. I love the Hot Wheels
Yes.
Case,
That was
yeah, that was
awesome.
hilarious.
Oh my goodness, brought back so much of my childhood.
I like, though, how it showed how much that Hope had trained to become the Wasp, because you saw that when she was in the restaurant trying to barter for that piece that they needed for the
Yeah.
So when she was in there and she jumps through and then she would grab like the salt shaker and throw it and then make that big, and it was like she knew exactly how to use the suit, and how to use
Absolutely.
those powers, because
I just
she was able to jump from small to big to small to big and know exactly when to do that and how to do it very well.
Yeah, what were you saying?
I thought it was really cool. Like, I thought it was really funny when, I forgot what his name was, but he grabbed the one car, and he like jumped it like so far up the hill.
Yes,
That was hilarious.
the one guy who works with Paul Rudd's character.
Yeah,
I can't think of
remember
his
his
name
name.
right now either. It's been a long day, folks. Like I said, we just got home from the movies. No, that was great.
It was hilarious. He picked up a car and then threw it on the ground and then made it huge. And then it was like just like flying everywhere.
Yeah, that was great. That whole
shrinking,
sequence.
the shrinking and making larger the building that happened to be their lab, and it had a little pull thing just like it was for luggage, but then like you said, the cars, and it was just a very cool use of all that stuff.
Yeah, well, and the car chase scene
Mhm.
where their cars are
She
going
was
from
even
big to
shooting that
small.
beam
and,
out to make the motorcycles go away, to make them,
Yeah.
or they took the Pez dispenser to like
yes.
throw that and make that
And-
big.
And when they like shrunk really small, got underneath the car, and then lifted up, and then
Yeah.
Yes,
the car
To pop the car up.
that's what I said. The effects were really great in this movie.
The comedy was
The
good.
story was really good. The de-aging was really good.
Mhm.
And I liked the ending was satisfying.
Which one?
Okay.
uh,
So
There
now, really,
there's
if
three.
you have listened to this whole thing, and you got to the end, and you did not see the Ant and the Wasp, but you're just like, I don't mind spoilers.
Unless you're one of those people that goes to a Marvel movie and doesn't stay till the very end, that's what these movies are about
And if
now.
you're one of those people, I want to slap you.
Yes,
I
because we're
don't
like literally
understand
yelling
it.
in the theater. There's still more scenes.
Oh my goodness, I don't understand people who go to these movies now, and don't stay until the credits are done.
I'm
Why?
not leaving it up to the internets to tell me what happened in those
Oh,
extra
it's
scenes.
frustrating.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. But so this movie had 2 post-credit scenes,
Yes.
right? One mid-credit scene, now they're calling
Oh.
them, and then a post-credit scene. So the post-credit scene wasn't that big of a
Cutesy.
deal. It was cute. Landon, you would probably relate with it most of all because this young man is quite a drummer. He's got some pretty great beats and skills about him and great rhythm. And so, what did you think of the last one with the ant?
I thought the
playing
last one was hilarious, and it was just like funny and it was also kind of cool because even though he went into the portal thing, and then like is in there, and so that like kind of made because that was the ant that had the ankle on him,
Mhm.
and
So
so
it's
he
almost
would-
like a version of him.
yeah, it was almost like a version of him.
Yeah, because in the movie, the ant is programmed to
Do everything that he
Paul
does.
Rudd does, and so the ant's still going through the
Taking
daily,
a bath and playing the drums and
yep, still
eating
going through
cereal.
those daily
and...
things that Paul Rudd was doing in there. So now let's talk about the mid-credit scene. So it opens up, everybody's happy, right? Mom's back, Dad's there.
They're doing science together.
They're working on the quantum realm, trying to heal people.
Well, they got a like a smaller version because the other one was huge,
Yep.
and this one they were able to fit in the back of a van. So they were
Yes.
trying to make it more portable.
And so the idea is they're trying to heal Ghost,
Mm-hmm.
and so Ant-Man has to go into the quantum realm to collect
Yes.
quantum
Particles.
energy or particles or whatever, and then come back
to heal
out.
her.
And so he goes in, and
Well, they do
Michael
the test.
Douglas,
They
Michael
do the
Douglas does a
test.
mic test and says, "Hey, can you test?" And so he doesn't hear anything for a minute, and he's getting a little concerned. And then Ant-Man says, "Oh, yeah, mic test, I'm here," stuff. So it was kind of a little joke. And so then they go about their normal thing. He collects the stuff, and he's like, "Okay, bringing you back in 5, 4, 3,
Nothing.
nothing, no sound, no nothing." And Ant-Man thinks that
Now they're messing with
they're
him.
messing with him. Turns out it goes back to the shot of
Where they're on that
everybody.
rooftop.
And what is it? It's all ash. It's all the dust that just because Thanos snapped his fingers. So Ant-Man is still alive
In the quantum realm.
in the quantum realm.
But what did Dr. Pym mention before he went in there or did she mention that you have to stay away from or worry about once you're in there?
Time vortex. Time vortexes. So we already know from things that have already been leaked and talked about the next Avengers movie that somehow time travel is going to play a role in the next Avengers movie. And then obviously they called upon
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, and her movie is actually set back in the 90s,
Yes.
right? And so I'm wondering now how Ant-Man is going to play, because it sounds like now Ant-Man is going to somehow play a major
Because
role.
he doesn't know what happened to them.
He doesn't know what happened.
And if he doesn't hear from them and maybe something's wrong, maybe he can help go back in time and help figure things out for the next movie.
To go back into a time vortex and come back out. So I thought that was just those little things that
Nuances.
are planted that hey, you start to hear, and if you pay attention, right? And
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see
Yes.
how they set up for how this movie impacts what on Avengers 4. When we see Avengers 4, to look back and see what connected with that. Now, I know you've been sitting here watching us this whole time, and you're like, Enosh, you usually have toys that represent whatever you're talking about, and you got a bunch of Star Wars helmets out there. Look, that's because I don't have any Ant-Man stuff, and I really don't have any Marvel stuff.
Because we're DC.
Yeah, I like Marvel, obviously. I'm giving this a positive review. But so I just busted out some helmets because Ant-Man's got a helmet, right?
Yeah.
That works, right?
We should get an Ant-Man helmet. That would be cool.
That works. There you go. See? Does that work? Okay. So anyways, but so that is pretty much it for the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. Tiffany, out of 5, what would you give Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I would probably give it a 4.5.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm never going to make a perfect review on a movie, but it was, there's a couple small things here and there that, didn't add up quite to the first movie, but I think sometimes you just get that excitement from a first movie. But I think this movie was just very well done. It had the humor, it advanced the story, it brought new people, old people back, the de-aging, it was everything. So it's like a 4.5, 4.75.
Ooh, it just went up a little bit. If we sit here long enough, she's going to tell us 5. Hey, Landon, what do you give it out of 5?
Probably, I agree with Tiffany. 4.5 for the movie because it wasn't perfect, but it was still a good movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go a little lower because I still think this movie was fine. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it. I felt like there was a little too much comedy in it. At times.
That's what Paul Rudd does.
I know, but I felt
That's what I liked about it.
No, but I felt like sometimes there was a serious moment and it got taken away. And even though I liked what happened, like when they're all tied up and the daughter calls and it's an emergency and stuff like that, even though I was still chuckling about it and liked it, it still like took away from the serious of it. And had Ghost been a real villain, then it would have really taken away from it for me, because then I'd have been like, you got this serious situation when it turns out that she's just hurting and going through a lot, Okay.
Texted 911 for soccer cleats.
Yeah, and so there's things like that. Also, I felt the beginning up to about midway, it had moments where it lagged.
But it also had to explain what happened between one and two.
I totally understand that it had to do it, but I felt like it had moments where it just kind of lagged, and it's like, okay, we're getting there, and so at no point did I check out where it's like I didn't care, but I just felt like there was a few parts where it got pretty slow, where it slowed down a lot, and then like I said, I really loved the first one. It's not my favorite Marvel movie like it is Landon's, but I really loved the first one, and I didn't think that this one, as good as this one was, I didn't think that it quite lived up to the first one. And the first one I would give about a 4.5 because I thought it was really great. The comedy does work for me, right? So I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth. I felt there was a little bit too much at times in certain moments, but the comedy works for me. And I like that about Ant-Man.
Because he's a Paul Rudd fan. He's got a Paul Rudd man.
Exactly. So because it's Paul Rudd, it's like I dig it. So I would say I would give it a 4. I'd give it a 4 out of the 5, just because, like I said, it slowed down for a couple moments, and then a couple of the jokes just seemed kind of out of place at a couple times. But other than that, I love the movie, right? And I thought, I think it was a great. Yes, I thought it was a great addition to not just the Ant-Man franchise, but also
all the Marvel movies.
All the Marvel movies as well. And it'll be interesting how much its value goes up as we see Avengers 4. Right.
Yes.
But hey, have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp? What did you think of the movie? Did you love it? Did you think it was just the greatest movie ever? Or did you have some issues with it as well?
What did you like that we didn't mention, or things that maybe we didn't catch on to? And what things did you not like?
Yeah. And who do you agree with on the panel? We need to settle this, folks. Come on. All right? Let us know down in the comment section. Please leave a comment down in the comment section just so that we know that you care about what we're talking about. And then also, not just here, but go to Twitter at Enosh Music and tweet us there and let us know your favorite moments of Ant-Man and the Wasp. And maybe even the first Ant-Man movie, and what you love about it, what you don't like about it, and where you think it's going to go from here, because I love those parts of the conversations, folks. When you guys tell me your thoughts and ideas about where you think a movie's going to go,
that's when he nerds out.
Oh my goodness, I had a conversation just with a guy. I've had a conversation for the last couple of days with a guy in the comment section of another video where we have just gone back and forth talking about Star Wars and possibilities and just things. And that's what I love, and that's why I started this channel, was to meet other nerds, and that's why we call it the Poindexter Lounge. So hey guys, for the Poindexter Lounge. But again, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, always with the lovely.
Tiftastic or Grand Tiff Tarkin?
And of course,
Landing Calrissian.
that's right. And until next time, just want to say this. Don't think too small. Don't think too big. Everybody, just be medium. All right? Until next time, we will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.